Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into your Arsenal Advisor. This video is going to be about my 602 rifle replica build. I had some videos out on it, kind of walk through some of the stuff I went through, putting it together and some different things. You may have seen it. So I just want to put together another review where I added some of the recent footage where I tested some magazines, and I think I got the cycling issues might be solved. So I just want to say I got this. At first, it seemed to be jamming. I wasn't really sure why. I didn't know if it wasn't getting enough gas, and I thought the front sight post was maybe canted, blocking the gas port, and I was sure that would not be the case from the person who assembled it. So then I just couldn't handle looking at just the cant of it, so of the front sight base. So what I did was I filed down, one side of the indexing pin on the barrel assembly, so as to not mess with the upper receiver, and then in such a direction that I could rotate it more plumb, and then I backfilled with some metal shims. That's kind of what I did. So I took it apart. I didn't send this all the way back because it was kind of a custom barrel profile. It took like 9 months to get. So I tried to just see if I could fix it here at home to make it look less canted. And then I got recommendations to try some different magazines and shoot M193, actual M193, and then gauge how it cycles. And I think near the end of the video, it seemed to be where I got this cycling. So next step would be to check the accuracy and, again, re-sight it in for 300 yards and then kind of see how it's doing. So this starts off with the old footage. It's in another video of the kind of the jamming and me shooting at this indoor 100-yard range. And then I got some recent footage from an outdoor range where I was able to try the same magazines again, all with M193, and I didn't have any issues. So that was good. All right, thanks for watching. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into your Arsenal Advisor. This is the what I thought would be the end of my 602 project, rifle project. I got all the parts together, got the barrel attached to the upper so I can put, I can kind of show the whole rifle together, do a little kind of review. I've got a retro style waffle magazine, got the slick side upper, slab side lower, slab side, because there's no raised part of the casting that goes around the magazine release and the little area where the retaining pin or the pivot pin retaining pin goes in or in spring. We got the triangle hand guards, they're like left and right. They have to be put on in that same way as opposed to the newer A2 hand guards. You can put them up and down, whichever way. What else do we have here? We have the 3-prong flash hider. The 3-prong, this is a more beefier one than the what they call the duck bill that came on the 601 rifle. This is just, it's thicker, so it's probably stronger. That's prone to breaking. We have on this side, so we have this, I guess the bolt catch doesn't have a little piece that sticks out to make it easier to push in to retain. You can still do it, you just have to press the finger in there, a little harder. Let's see, the selector, it's got the holes in it. The takedown pin comes all the way out. It's got a little like ball detent in there, but it comes all the way out and you have to stick it somewhere and take it out. I guess after you pivot it up and then you can take it out. It's just a little awkward. And then big thing is that's kind of unique is a small triangular charging handle. It's not as easy to grab because it's not as big. So that was one of the things that was upgraded. So I was just, I thought this was kind of an interesting model along the way. It doesn't have any brass deflector or charging, what do you call it, the forward assist, and then the charging handle, it's more narrow. I will say though, the triangle handguards sort of stick out. Remember, in training events, you have your rifle slung across your back or something, and unless you would put it upside down, sometimes you'd have the forward assist or the spent brass deflector like digging into you. So I always kind of thought it'd be kind of interesting to see an AR that's got like the slickest sides to it. Although at this stage of my life, I'm not putting these on my back and running around in the woods for exercise or training, like on purpose. It's something that gone wrong in the world for that to happen nowadays. So anyhow, so that's where we're at. So it's great. It's all together after like many months of putting all these parts and finding them all and waiting for these to get refinished. It took a while, and waiting for the barrel to get made because it's a custom barrel in here that I had made. And so got all together, got this old part, one of my other videos, the old stock, and I kind of rebuilt the little knob here so it would fit snug, etc. So I got this together, and then I went to the range to test it out, and it didn't work right. Damn. Okay, so it's not okay, because I was hoping it would just all go together. It's like an AR-15, 5.56 NATO, basic ammunition or caliber that these are designed for. So I was shooting XM193, it seemed to work with, but I was shooting some PMC Bronze and PMC X-Tac, which are both, they are also 55 grain ammunition. So I thought it would work similar to the XM193. But I think the goal with these kind of AR-15s, or any AR-15s of that caliber, I don't think they should be that ammunition. I didn't want to say finicky, but that's kind of the connotation I was looking for. But I think I have a problem with the way this, I don't know if you can see, the gas, the front sight gas block, I don't think it's on there straight. I don't know if that's obscuring some of the gas to get through. I mean, I lubed this thing up with enough like CLP. I didn't think there was any problems with it having enough lubrication. I've shot it twice now, and second time it seemed to do better with the XM193. So anyway, so I got some footage of me shooting it, and I'd like to think it was like really exciting footage where something would happen and it has some funny facial expressions, but even that, it's not that exciting. But yeah, I got some views from day one of shooting it and some of the targets. I think the 1 in 12 barrel, it seemed to be pretty accurate for, what I was expecting out of it. So anyway, without any further ado, go ahead and show that footage.
Lane 2. 2 minutes.
10.
Sir.
All right, so there's the footage. In conclusion, I would just say, I got the barrel, and I went ahead and lapped the front of the receiver, and felt great, and put that on, put the barrel on, and everything looked great. I was all excited to be done, but I guess the moral of the story would be to compare. There's the index pin on the barrel that fits into the notch in the front of the receiver. So what maybe I should have done was sight down it and just see if that lined up. Maybe before I put the barrel on, because I think it looks like the barrel extensions lined up. I lined the barrel nut when I torqued it down like 2 or 3 times. Well, 3 times before I torqued it down complete. And then you go a little bit further so that the gas tube is centered in it. Nothing bound up. I think it's all here, tapped into all the way into the front sight base. So I think that's all good. But to find out if the notch wasn't centered, although I think it's centered because the locking lugs look centered. But anyway, my point is just to try to check things before you put them in. I was even trying to see if the gas tube was open, but I couldn't get my little string idea to slide down through it because it's a standard one with the bend. So I just put it together. So anyway, as a novice builder. All right, well, hopefully, putting that information back together, the original footage with the triumphant proper cycling footage at the end, I thought that was like a better way of finishing off, talking about this new review of the 602 rifle. Just to review, the 602 has a 1 in 12 twist and a more beefier 3-prong flash hider than the 601, and it's got the 1 in 12 rifle twist. I don't know if I said that. Did I say that? I better say it again. Still has the small triangular charging handle. You know, there was some prototypes that had the upside down trigger looking charging handle that would go back and forth, or well, you would operate it within the carry handle. It would still stay forward during firing, like this one does, you know, non-reciprocating. But in terms of what became an M16 later on, this one had the most narrow features. It's a slab side receiver, had no what they call the fence around it. It's got the early small parts features to it. So the selector lever and like the pins, they are they have the dimples on them, and there's no you see there's no forward assist. That came with the M16A1, which was I think the next variant after the 602. I think it was called the 603. And there was some transitional models in between the 602 and the 603. I think they call it the M16E1, where I guess there was like a partial fence where they just had this area that was raised so you could drill the detent, make that takedown or front swivel pin, not that swivel pin, pivot pin, make that captive. And then it was added, more was added later to kind of go all the way around the three sides of the magazine release to kind of protect that from bumping, you know, into things and have the magazine drop out. So I was curious, if you've seen some other videos, I wanted to see what it would be like to have the most narrow, like AR-15, because I used to talk about, like in training, we had M16A2 and it had the forward assist and the brass deflector, and depending on how you slung it across the back, some of those things would kind of like dig into you in different areas. So I was kind of curious, like what would be the most slick, you know, narrow looking AR-15, and it's pretty much this one, but with the 1 in 12 twist and a beefier flash suppressor, you know, in terms of retro styling. But it's funny, these triangle, this is the first one I have with the triangle grips and or hand guards, and I mean they stick out pretty far. So I don't know necessarily what that might be like, you know, digging them. I mean it's not as sharp, you know. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. But in terms of having something to hold on to, you know, when you're doing your marksmanship, I mean I thought the that triangular feature gives a lot of good stability and things for, you know, the you know, lay that into your hand when you're aiming. So not really, well, I know partly why they went away from is those hand guards and the A2s. You can interchange them between the top and the bottom, whereas this one you have to do them left and right. You can't put the left one on the right side because it's only fits on one direction, and the others are a little narrow. So I don't know if that was, they made them smaller for smaller hands or something. I don't know. But when the first time I tried, or you know, picked up one of these, I thought it seemed fairly comfortable. So not sure if I'll put them onto an A2 version. I kind of like the A2 the way it is, but I think it's kind of neat to go back and explore some of these earlier models, you know, they had in the very beginning, you know, back through the history of the AR. So appreciate you watching, and stay tuned for more.